Hello, very warm welcome. Spanish Grand Prix reaction, in we go. Lewis Hamilton wins, championship leader. It was a Snoozefest of a race. Hamilton wins the Snoozefest. Ferrari are a Shambles. Kevin Magnussen's P7. I mean, Hamilton, he wins it at the start. It's a phenomenal start. Three abreast, going down into turn 1. Vettel has a huge lockup. Tries to go around the outside. Massive lockup by Vettel. And that basically, Hulkenberg starts from the pit lane. I forgot to introduce that first. Hulkenberg from the pit lane after his incident in quali. Yeah, Norris, very poor start. Kmag goes off at turn 4. Unusual error by the Iceman. And once again, Ferrari just a shambles. They're fastest going into the season. Yet it's another 1-2 for Mercedes. That is, Lewis Hamilton has won the race. 5 1-2s for Mercedes. It could be the most dominant season. Max has won Driver of the Day officially. Ferrari, I mean, Max is in third. Max has got into third. Vettel's got problems. He's got a huge lockup. He's got a flat spot. They take an age to let Leclerc through. Leclerc's quicker. Max has gone 5 seconds down the road. And Ferrari is still pissing about. And then they finally let Leclerc through. Unbelievable. Williams, they're just a shit show. Lapped after 19 laps of the Grand Prix, and they're lapped. It's unbelievable. And Daniel Ricciardo stuck behind the McLaren. He doesn't look as confident on the brake pedal. If that was in the Red Bull days, he would have been down the inside of the McLaren. But he doesn't look as comfortable on the brake pedal in that Renault. Leclerc v Vettel, they're battling. No team orders. And then I write down Ferrari are a shambles. Because they finally... I mean, they take so long. They take so long to make these choices. They're poor on strategy. They don't seem to make key decisions quickly. They're the favourites for the season. They haven't won a race. They just seem to drop it every time. I mean, we can all see, to start with, Leclerc was quicker than Vettel. Takes them 5 laps to make the decision. Vettel's quicker than Leclerc. Takes them 5 laps to make the decision. Where's the brutalness for the most iconic team in Formula 1? Kvyat, good move on Kevin Magnussen. And then the safety car comes out. Norris and Stroll have contact. For me, it was 50-50. Norris tried to go around the outside. Stroll didn't give him much room. They never gave each other room. They both retire from the race. The safety car comes out with huge gravel round turn 3. The flat out right-hander. Safety car was out a good 10 laps. I'm flicking between stations to check the Liverpool-Man City score. And then Liverpool go 1-0 up. Man City go 1-0 down. Then Aguero pops up with a goal. And I turned back. Safety car was still out. Was out for ages. Then the safety car comes in. Kevin Magnussen shows what huge Danish nuts he has. He goes down the inside of Grosjean. They touch. Grosjean goes... You have to go round the cone. He goes round the cone. Then Grosjean hit the bump pretty hard. I think he must have had damage because then he got passed by Sainz. He got passed by Kvyat. Just managed to get into the points, Grosjean. Guaranteed 7th and 8th. And that contact with Magnussen has dropped him down to 10th. Don't think Gunther Steiner will be happy about that. Sainz v Grosjean, they touch. Massive bang. And then again Grosjean, he just kept going round the bollard. He was driving a different racetrack to everyone else. Race start, I give it Max. He's been absolutely consistent. You could give it Lewis Hamilton. You could give it Max. You could give it Kevin Magnussen, best of the rest. Danny Kvyat, overtaking. Race rating, 1 out of 10. Awful. 50 laps of pure dross. I mean, we set off, they just stay in their positions. Safety car comes out. Then we actually see a bit of battling between the Hasses. And a bit of action, but it was a poor Grand Prix. And if that is the last Spanish Grand Prix, many people won't be like sad to see the back of it, because that was a shower. But I like Spain. I hope that's not the last race. Fastest lap, Lewis Hamilton. Race 5, Spain. Hamilton wins the Snoozefest. Ferrari are a shambles. And Kevin Magnussen's P7, sorry. Norris and Stroll DNFs, they had contact, didn't give each other enough room. Lewis Hamilton wins the Spanish Grand Prix, wins it at the start, he dominates, he gets the fastest lap, he's the championship leader. Valtteri Bottas, on pole yesterday, very uneventful race, comes home second. Max, most consistent driver on this grid. Ever since he had that crash at Monaco last year, consistent, world class by the Dutchman. Wins the driver of the day officially and gets my driver of the day on the podium. And beats the Ferraris. Ferraris come home 4th and 5th. Shambolic once again by the Italian giants. Gasly comes home in 6th. His teammates on the podium. Gasly comes 6th. A better weekend. I mean, you don't really expect Gasly to be fighting with the other top 5. So, best of the rest, Kevin Magnussen got his balls out after the safety car. Puts a big, brave move on his French teammate. Carlos Sainz in front of his home faithful finishes 8th. Got past Grosjean in the end. Kvyat put the most overtakes in the race. Gave us a bit of entertainment, did the torpedo. He comes 9th. Romain Grosjean must have had damage when he went over the sausage curb. He's 10th. Alexander Albon all over the Frenchman. Was he going to get the final point? No. Unlucky. He had DRS. He was going for it a couple of times. Albon comes home 11th. Daniel Ricciardo P12. That's a poor race by Ricciardo. Doesn't look comfortable on the brake pedal. If that was his Red Bull days, he would have been down the inside of... Was it Norris or Sainz he was behind? He was behind him lap after lap after lap. Hülkenberg from the pit lane to 13. Unlucky for some. Pretty horror weekend once again. Back-to-back horror weekends for the German. Kimi Räikkönen makes a huge mistake on lap 1. He comes 14th. Perez, hardly saw him in the race. He's 15th. Giovinazzi 16th. George Russell 17th. And Robert Kubica rounds out in 18th and ends what is a horror weekend for the Polishman. 5-0 in qualifying to Russell. 5-0 in the race. Oh, Kubica, Kubica, Kubica. Are we seeing what we saw with Michael Schumacher? You were a talented driver. You were a very quick driver. But Schumacher came back. He wasn't the same. Are we seeing the same with Kubica? I worry for him. I'm a big fan of Kubica. But he's got to beat George Russell. And he's not doing so. There we have it. Spanish race reaction done. It was a boring race. It's not good enough. And we go on to arguably the worst F1 race of the season in Monaco. Monaco is a dull fest. But Spain wasn't great. It wasn't great. Lewis Hamilton wins, leads the championship. Ferrari, they can't believe it. 5-1-2s for Mercedes. This could be their most dominant season. It's just unbelievable. Look how far. 112 Hamilton, 105 Bottas. Max is P3 in the drivers. And then come the Ferrari boys behind. That's awful. Everyone scored a point now apart from Giovinazzi and the 2 Williams boys. That Mercedes boss, it's his last race I think. Him with a tash, forget his name. Yeah, Max is in there. They're all having a kiss and a cuddle. So yeah, qualifying reaction done. Race reaction done. I didn't enjoy the race personally. I thought it was dull. It wasn't a great race to be honest. Join me. Look out for driver ratings for the Spanish Grand Prix. Hamilton will be scoring highly. Ferrari just strategy is poor. They don't make the right calls. They're not brutal on their calls. Too long, too long, too long. Oh, we've lost 5 seconds down the road. And Magnussen, P7. Haas. I mean, Steiner's not going to be happy with that because Haas were guaranteed 7 and 8. Magnussen gets his balls out, pushes Grosjean a bit wide. Grosjean over the rumble strip. And then the next lap, over the rumble strip with Sainz. He kept going over the rumble strip, must have damaged his car. Grosjean comes home in 10th. I mean, that's how it should have been 7th and 8th, Haas. So yeah, I'm surprised I've got 10 minutes out of that because that race was poor. Onto the podium we go. Max is jumping up and down, Bottas, and here comes the championship leader, Lewis Hamilton. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below. It wasn't a cracker, but Lewis Hamilton wins the Spanish Grand Prix. And 5 1-2s for Mercedes AMG Petronas. I nearly pressed escape then, I nearly pressed the wrong button. Adios!